How to select stocks for your trading or investing activity. Well, um, one of the best stock screeners on the internet, in my opinion, is Finviz. It has a lot of free features. Obviously, you can upgrade your plan, but it is very complete, in my opinion. And I think it is very useful if you trade American stocks because I think it has all public companies of American markets. So this is the screener. This is the home of Finviz website. There are different features. For example, this is the heat map. You have index charts. What are the best and worst stocks in terms of performance, etc. But let's focus on screener. First of all, the first thing I do personally is to select only the American market because it is very complete, like I said before. And well, what are main features? I focus usually on the first three tabs, so descriptive, fundamental, and technical, in particular fundamental. This depends by your trading activity. So, for example, if your activity includes short squeeze, maybe this tab could be very useful for you. This is the short float. Um, you can also read what every tab is about. So we have market capitalization, dividend yield, the exchange on which stocks are quoted. So the float, the amount of the float, the volume. This is very interesting. The volume and the current volume and the relative volume. So target price is a tab I don't consider a lot because um, I saw some error here. For example, you can search only stocks whom target price is 30% above current price. But when you open a stock, when you open a page of the stock you selected, um, you could see that not always the target price is the same of the screener. So um, this is a tab I don't use personally. Here, more interesting tabs are for sure market capitalization, relative volume, short float if you are a short squeeze trader. But I usually focus on fundamental and technical. For example, if you are a momentum trader, could be very interesting to select a particular change in the last year. For example, here you have change from previous close. So this is for day traders. Performance in the last week, last month, last half of year, last year. So this is very interesting for momentum traders. A filter I always use for my type of trading activity is the moving average. So we have 20-day, that is the monthly moving average, 50-day and 200-day. In particular, I use 20-day and 50-day. So, for example, I want that that price, that price is above the moving average calculated on 50 days, and we have first selection. Okay, this is a very interesting filter. Repeat, it's my type of trading, so it's my strategy. Um, You have beta calculated. I remember on last year. I'm not so sure because um, this is not a filter I use usually. So the most important tab for me is the fundamental. For example, in my strategy, I look for stocks, I look for companies growing. So, for example, this is a filter. This is one of my most used filter. I look for companies with growing sales past 5 years, and if it is possible that are growing their sales quarter by quarter, last quarter in particular. Obviously, I want a company with a positive net margin, so net profit margin obviously has to be positive. And here you have some index calculated on EPS using the price, obviously. So price to earnings. If you are looking for possible undervalued stocks, you can choose this index lower than 15, but this is this is your choice. Usually, this type of approach is not really good, because if you are trying to buy some undervalued stock, the price to earnings maybe is not so indicated to search this type of stock. So maybe it is better to use the PEG, the price to earnings to growth ratio. That is the ratio between the price to earnings and the growth ratio of revenues in the last year. Then you can space literally from every type of index. It is very complete, as I said before. Um, for example, debt, index on debt, margins. Um, Very important, very interesting, in my opinion, filter is about transactions and ownership. Here you have the last 6 month insider transaction. Could be very interesting to analyze, but remember that in this case, when you're analyzing insider, um, this analyze can be affected by confirming of short of stocks held by managers. Okay, so the options held by managers, so stock options. If a manager confirm is right to have stocks of the company, this index can be affected. So maybe it is better to analyze the institutional transaction. So how fund managements and banks are moving on this on a particular stock. For example, very positive, over 20%. So this is the change in institutional ownership. Transaction, you have ownership. For example, I want to search stocks, companies with an institutional ownership below 20%, just to make an example. Well, you have 6 stocks to analyze. So that's it. If you want to analyze a single stock, you can click on the name. You have all the dashboard with chart, main info. Well, you have here main index like return on equity, return on investment. You have how different voices of the balance sheet moved over the year, over the time. You have news. This is very interesting. News about this company. Well, here there is every type of analysis made by analysts on the price, but I, as I said before, I don't take in consideration this tab. I'm not interested, honestly. You have a balance sheet, and I want to show you transactions, but I think it is better to choose some other stocks, some other stock maybe a more big, for example, Apple, Amazon. Let's take Amazon. It is just an example. Here we are. Insider trading. These are insiders, so company employers, and you have transactions, transaction date, and the role of every single person. Okay. For example, here you have option exercise, as I said before. So the cost, number of shares, etc. I think this is a very interesting, but I repeat that the institutional transaction, in my opinion, is more effective than insider. So, for example, in institutional transaction over 20%, but also over 10%, in my opinion, can be very interesting. It is a filter to look. So, well, you have, for example, liquidity ratios, the current, the quick ratio, the price to book value. That is the ratio between the price and the equity book value. So you can literally search what you need, what you want. There is also a section dedicated to the news. Honestly, I don't focus a lot. Maybe if you are a news trader, this can be very useful for you. So there is also some technical analysis indicator, for example, the average true range, useful to find the right value of your stop loss, the volatility, the relative strength index, gap. So what if a stock yesterday had a very big gap? So very interesting filter this. Well, um, if you want to deep into this tool, I recommend you because it is very useful. I think this is the main filter, the main stock screener I use, and it is free. Obviously, if you want to customize your researches, you have to upgrade your plan. But I think that this is a very powerful tool, even if you use the free version. So for today, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, found useful. See you in the next video.